Good morning, good evening, good afternoon, whatever time of day it happens to be for you. Welcome to another scene in the living world of darkness. This scene is for Rage Across New York, which is, of course, the werewolf venue. Tonight we find ourselves somewhere in the sheep meadow. Kailani has set up once again for tea. With an interesting array of snacks. There are cookies. There are what appear to be scones or biscuits, and there are also hunks of raw meat on the bone. She had extended an invitation to Alana for tea without ever asking Alana what she liked to eat or what she could eat. So she just tried to put together things that she knows go with tea.
And Alana's not going to keep her waiting long. She tends to try and be early when she can to things. She will arrive. She'll have a gift since she was invited. That's something that she was taught young to bring a gift when somebody invites you over for something. And so she's brought something with her. It smells kind of like bacon, but there's other scents with it.
Oh, that will definitely catch Kailani's attention. The smell of bacon approaches.
Hello there, lass.
And seeing that it is Alana who carries the bacon with her, Kailani will greet Alana and show through.
She'll give a kind of pat on your shoulder.
I am uncertain if we have ever properly been introduced. I am Kailani, Bites the Warm Spine of the Stargazer tribe, a galliard born on 4 legs.
Alana, Binding Tempest. Theurge, born of the breach, Fostern.
It is good to officially meet you.
Aye. I remember Ping talking about you.
Yeah, she was a good friend.
It was sad to lose her.
It was. She helped me understand some things about humans that I didn't understand.
I've been around humans and Gary for quite a while, and there's still times that I just don't understand the reasoning or purpose behind things, so don't feel bad.
Well, it's nice to know I'm not alone in that. Please make yourself comfortable. I have tea and food.
I see that, and Alana will sit down and pull a cardboard like little box out of the bag she has and kind of offer it to Kailani.
Kailani will take the box and turn it over.
In the box, you will see different bacon in different ways. Some of it's wrapped around other meats. Some of it's dipped in things like chocolate and caramel.
Oh my. I did not know there were so many ways you could eat bacon.
Oh, my alpha has a thing for it, and so does my beta. think it's their favorite food ever. Pretty certain we have it with just about every meal that we have.
Well, that sounds
Well, it's great sprinkled
incredibly
on ice
tasty.
cream.
Oh, wait, you can put bacon on ice cream?
Oh, aye.
Nobody told me that before now.
I've put bacon on ice cream, on apple pie, on different meats, lamb, chicken, pork, cow, deer,
I will have to try
pheasant.
some of these.
Oh, I definitely recommend it.
Hailani will take a piece of chocolate covered bacon out of the box and have a little taste.
It's
Oh,
actually a dark chocolate, so not quite as
oh
sweet
my
sweet.
goodness. I didn't know chocolate could taste better with bacon.
One of the few upsides of things that the humans have come up with.
Yes, they do come up with some amazing things. Um, would you like some tea?
Aye, that'd be grand.
Kailani will pull the pot off of a small fire and pour some tea into cups, one for her and one for Alana, and offer the cup to Alana. Um, these particular cups match. Um, they look like they are some kind of traditional Japanese lacquerware.
Beautiful craftsmanship in these cups.
Thank you.
You make them yourself.
No, it's something I've had um, for several summers now. I just haven't had much occasion to use them.
Well, they're
I
quite
try
lovely.
I try to save them for more formal things.
We don't tend to have a lot of those around here. Sometimes it's kind of sad that we don't.
Well, we are in the middle of a war zone. It's I guess something would fall by the wayside, like formalities.
I unfortunately most everywhere seems to be a war zone anymore.
Yeah, it does. The Amazon was. Here is. Home seems like it might be soon.
Where's your home?
Colorado, in the
I've only ever
mountains.
seen pictures of it, but it looks quite beautiful there.
It is. We were um, a preservation
Ah,
facility. Um, we had a lot of lupus um, in the sept and just regular wolves too. It was maintained by the human kin. And then the humans came and took a lot of our land for houses that pack people in like fish in metal box and stretch up into the sky. So there's no room for trees or deer.
And she gives a sad nod, having recognized these sorts of things happening elsewhere.
It made me sad to see how little there was we could do to stop it because their litany says they can.
It's very difficult to stop. You have to find ways to work within their rules to keep things from going too far.
Yeah. And we played by their rules and it was ineffective.
I have a feeling that some of them don't even play by their own rules. They just change them and make stuff up as they go. At least that's how it feels sometimes. You're told this is the rule, and so you're following that rule, and then they say, oh, that rule doesn't apply to you. This rule is the one that applies to you, so you've just broken the law. And you're like, that's not what I was told. That's not the law, you know?
Yes, I do. It's confusing.
That's why I just leave that all up to the philo-docs.
When you're told one thing and then their philodoxes say another, it's frustrating and confusing.
Aye. Extremely so.
You can only cross the street at the crosswalk, but you can't cross if the light is red. Well, how am I supposed to know if the light's red or not? I can't see red.
She gives a slight chuckle. I'll tend to just wait until the other people cross.
See, that would have been the smarter thing to do. I figured everyone was just too intimidated by the giant cars to get going. But
I
I'm
know that.
getting better at making my way around now.
Glad to hear that.
I hope you don't think me rude, but I didn't really invite you just for a chat. I was actually hoping you could tell me some more about the Fianna concept.
She takes a deep breath. Where to start? Are there any particular ones you want to know about, or just the tribe in general?
Well, I've met Aiden and and I don't remember her name, but she had really, really bright red hair.
Fairly short.
Yes.
Okay. and her name sounds like something like Saoirse.
Yes. Saoirse. Yes, that was her name.
Aye, they're both good folks. Aiden has a bit of a temper on him, and it tends to lead him on occasion, but he's still a good lad.
That's good to
Saoirse's
know.
very focused, worries about her pack more than herself.
Is
Let's see, what else can I say about
are there any families on set?
let's see. Saoirse's aunt and uncle live just off of the sept. She's a researcher for illnesses for children. She's trying to find cures for them to make them better. And
Really?
her uncle is an artist. He helps me sell jewelry to mm, pay for the costs of my living. I make the jewelry and he sells it in one of those online things called Etsy, I think.
Oh, that sounds fancy.
He says it's pretty simple, but I don't know. I make jewelry, I get money, I do what I need for the nation. All seems to work out in the end. Eden hasn't really had a lot of kin about. I've seen him flirting with some since he got here, but if I remember right, his dad was killed in front of him, and that's kind of what spurred his change. Been a
Yeah,
couple of years since I heard about that.
he said something like that. Well,
So he
not
hasn't had
exactly
a.
like that, but
So he hasn't had a lot of kin interactions. It's good to see him getting out there and trying to find kin. Uh, he just got married too, so that is basically, other than his pack, the most family he's had since him and Saoirse were cubs back on the sept.
oh, so they are family?
They're not like born of the same parents or anything, but they were cubs together. You remember that bond you have with the people you're going through being a cub with?
Yeah, I do.
They've stuck together since then for, let's see, she finished last December with her schooling that she was forcing herself to finish out. And then they came down to the Amazon because they didn't want to wait up here in New York for me. So they came down to the Amazon and helped us out. And then we got sent back here. And they've been here ever since. Honestly expected Aiden and Saoirse to pack up.
They didn't?
Nay, Aiden went and joined the Seekers. Saoirse joined me and the Shadowrunners.
Hmm. That is surprising, at least from what I've seen. But then I've seen all the cubs together make what pack. So,
Actually, he joined the Children of the Spirit Wild first and then the Seekers. He wasn't with the Children of the Spirit Wild for very long, though.
oh, that's a little unusual.
I don't know the story about that. I just know that one day he was staying there, and the next he was staying with the Seekers. So
Is there anyone else Who's noteworthy?
Let's see. There's Banshee. Oh, what did they say their new deed name was? I was um, I was doing something at the time. Hold on, let me think. Right, Bloodsong. That's what it was. Uh, she's also a Galliard, Fiona. She came back. I guess she'd gone to another country or something to do some stuff. Came back fostering, and then there's 10 Point. She's another Fiona Theurge. She's very noticeable. She has antlers.
Ah, I've heard of her.
She can be a bit timid and very reserved. I'm hoping that one day she'll come out of her shell and really show us the kind of girl she is.
I hope so too. From what I hear, she sounds like she could be immense help to people if they would let her.
Aye,
Nor if she would let herself.
on that as well. Unfortunately, being Metisborn, especially among the Fiona, it gives us a stigma. They expect so much more out of us. Some who are basically a stain on a good family are expected to do 3 or 4 times as much work as Homid-born, just
Why?
to because our tribe is very passionate about everything, especially when it comes to family and fighting and drinking. So, especially when you've been drinking and you've kind of lost those inhibitions, and you're close with somebody, especially park mates, you know, you're apt to, especially when you have rituals that last late into the night and that just drives everybody to a fever pitch. Like the one back in for Beltane, I think it is. Everybody ends up being riled up, passionate. We try and keep an eye on it, but people tend to slip and follow the instant feelings and emotions that are running hot right under the surface. That's when I was conceived. I was born 9 months later.
Ah, that is almost the exact opposite of my tribe.
I I heard the stargazers are very much into like inner peace and like more into making sure they're in control of everything at all times, especially themselves, most especially.
Ideally, yes. Um, but um, they're also, at least with my sept, we were taught balance. So those of us who or lupus born after our change lived among humans, and those who were human born lived among wolves. We learned to listen to and be in touch with both our minds the same time we were learning to be in touch with our Garu mind.
That's not a bad idea.
I
I think we all
have
could
found
probably
it,
use a bit of balance.
I have found it to be helpful,
Actually, that's kind of
especially
funny.
with some of the cubs.
Aye. It's kind of funny. Balance is actually something that's really important to the Fiona as well. We do go to excess in a lot of things to balance. Like, we go to excess in joy and happiness and whatnot because we're going to feel so on the opposite end of the spectrum when it comes to loss. Loved ones, pack mates, sept mates. And so we try and keep that balance. And that's what most Fiona are striving for. That's part of why we drink, actually. Because we see alcohol as kind of symbolic of everything being in balance. It's a weaver made item that has a bit of the worm in it because it reduces those inhibitions, which allows the wild to be free in your heart. And so you're kind of partaking of that balance to try and remember what's important, what you're fighting for.
Yes, I know the importance of knowing what you're fighting for, and having a reason to fight. Otherwise, it's hard to keep going.
Aye, that it can be. Quite so.
I also sometimes wonder if it's possible that we have let ourselves go too far.
Oh, so?
The the teaching is that in order to be fully in control of oneself and to attain that balance and walk the middle way, we must not give in to indulgences like like alcohol or eating an excess amount of food or sex or anything that does not have a purpose, a productive purpose. And it doesn't seem to be working out for us. There aren't many of us here.
I've not seen many of your tribe in general. Anywhere I've been. Here, Ireland, the Amazon.
I believe our kin may outnumber us.
I think can outnumber everybody. Well, at least if we're doing anything right, they should.
You may be right, but I'm told the reason our sept is the way it is specifically to address the imbalance among the breeds. That that the tribe is in many places almost entirely Hamid, and with no Lupus who is there to teach the ways of the wolf, to make sense of that part of your mind that operates on instinct.
That's a very valid point, Loss.
That's what our alpha thought too. Well, not her specifically, but she's not the person who created it, but she's in charge of it now. And she follows things the way they were set out for us.
They've gotten us this far. Sometimes I wonder. Sometimes I wonder. We're creatures of change, yet we don't change. We stay so stagnant in everything that happens around us. Most tribes, at least. And others, they gladly accept the change and they forget the past, where they came from. I know the Fionas fight tooth and nail to maintain our Lupus kinfolk and our Lupus Garu. Because you're very right. Without him, we'll lose half of who we are. We won't understand. And again, we come back to balance.
I still think there is an abhorrent lack of balance here, but I have become accustomed to it, and I think it has opened my mind to some things.
Like what?
Like I I am very curious. It's just my nature. And I had been taught to hold back, to deny myself the satisfaction of exploring the things I'm curious about unless it serves some sort of productive end, some sort of productive purpose. But
Is not learning on growing as an individual, a valid purpose to explore, to learn.
And I realize that I am not balanced myself. I'm good with wolf things and a lot of Gauru things too. I'm not so good with human things. So I've been trying. I've been following my curiosity and trying to see more the way humans do and do more human things. And
Well, if you ever want somebody to go with you, let me know.
I will. I might actually take you up on that.
And if you
I
want, I can even
usually
bring some of my pack. We're used to hanging out in the city. We've got an apartment off Sept, so
I usually go with Chloe, but I'm trying to explore more on my own or with new people.
new people give you a chance for a new perspective, a new thought.
Yes, they do. And new perspectives can sometimes bring about needed change.
Aye. Change within, on change without. All change has to start with an individual, though.
That's what they say. It only takes one person to make a difference.
Aye.
And the rest is like ripples in the water.
Kind of nods like, yeah, aye, I can see that. A good way to describe it.
Trying to bring about change, though, is trying and frustrating.
What sort
And
of change you're trying to bring about?
I don't really have a good way of defining it. And I think that's been my problem.
It sounds like you need to do some meditation, some focusing on yourself, your thoughts. It's for if you're a hominid, I'd say it's like putting the pieces of the puzzle in place and finding where you're missing the pieces to find out what it is you need.
I like puzzles and riddles, but I think you're right. I think I've been looking in the wrong place for answers. They aren't always written in the stars. And even if they are, you can't always see them.
The answers that are written in the stars are for those that were meant to see them there. Others must find their answers elsewhere, in the water, in the earth, in the flame, in the wind, in your heart, in your mind. Gaia has given us all of this so that we might protect her.
She has, and I feel we often fail her.
That we do.
Especially when we choose to protect her over her creation. That feels very wrong to me.
I know some tribes like the Red Talons are very against the Homids, but people often forget that the worm, weaver, and wild are all parts of Gaia. They're all part of her creations. We're fighting to bring back balance. We're not fighting to destroy the other forces, because then we'd have even more imbalance.
You sound like a stargazer.
I've done a lot of growing and learning in my time. A lot of listening.
I can appreciate that wisdom. It is getting late, and I think I smell rain on the air.
I'll take your word for that.
Perhaps we should finish our tea and continue the conversation another day or night.
I'd like that.
I look forward to seeing more of you.
Definitely, lass.
Helani will smile and sip from her teacup.
And Alana will do the same.
And I think we can end things there.
Yep.
Thank you, players, for playing. Thank you, watchers, for watching. Have a wonderful day.